Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on again. I come from the land of computer science, and I have been studying land development and urban planning for the better part of 2 years. I have shadowed dozens of different planning firms trying to understand kind of how things tick, trying to understand how development works in Toronto and beyond. And the thing that I've realized is that the major flavor that sets different developers apart is how they see potential. But there's one thing that kind of unifies all of you, and that is your process. Generally, the system that you will go through is a broker will give you a site, it will give you some kind of a parcel. You will send that off to some kind of a planner who will work with an architect to give you back some kind of initial massing. Then you'll send it off to your underwriting team, they'll create a pro forma, and you'll have some kind of an initial estimate for how much you'll make, whether or not this is something that is worth going forward with. And if you're lucky, this might take a couple days. If you're really lucky. In most cases, this will take upwards of a week or two, and you're tens of thousands of dollars in the hole before you've even begun. For the past 2 years, I have also been working on something called Arterial. It is a software tool that sits right in the middle of this entire development workflow and tries to help you understand and validate sites before you spent a dime. The way that this works is we have taken every single piece of policy, every official plan, every secondary plan, every tertiary plan, every community block plan, every zoning bylaw, every single planning rationale, every piece of MLS data, everything that goes into every single part of your pre-development decision, stuck it all into one massive database and built a bunch of algorithms around them. And from that, we were able to do some pretty incredible things. We can automate doing policy diligence for a specific kind of massing. We can automate creating pro formas, and we can even get you specific financing requirements like MLI Select. We can help you find precedents, and we can help you completely automate the way that you're working with your pre-development process. In practice, it works something like this. Arterial can help you find a bunch of sites, and you can see the demo for that after. But once you have a couple sites that you're interested in, Arterial will use all of its policy knowledge to help you construct a highest and best use simulation. Not only do we look at the as-of-right permissions, but we have a probability model that is based off of all the planning rationales submitted in the past 2 decades that helps us understand which laws can be broken and which things City Hall wants to pass but isn't allowed as of right. And if you're working with an architect, you can roll your own kinds of typologies or upload them from SketchUp or Revit directly. And from all of that, Arterial will give you some pretty interesting things. We have access to the Ontario Building Code, so we can automatically create whatever the egress and amenity space requirements might be for your own thing. Arterial will automatically find the optimized unit mix based off of the number of bedrooms and MLS data in the vicinity. And we can go so far as to create the optimal unit layout. We can figure out which kind of layout optimizes the construction costs, which thing allows you to have the most amount of revenue possible, and we'll show you the empty space that might be unused. And beyond that, you can get a quick understanding of the planning risk for every single one of your massings. Because Arterial has access to every single piece of policy ever submitted, we can do automatic entitlement risk and policy diligence for any kind of massing. We can figure out the maximum and the minimum policy values, and we can figure out how far you're allowed to stretch them in case you aren't using it to the maximum of your ability. And in cases where the thing that you're trying to get past isn't allowed as of right anywhere, we will find all of the precedences in the area around you, and we'll help you understand how to get it permitted. Keep in mind that all of this is happening in a couple minutes without any kind of planner input. This is solely for developers, and it is to help you understand exactly what's going on before you spent a dime. But the cool part about Arterial is that based off of all of this information, because it can predict what the optimal massing might be, what the optimal unit financing might be, we can take a look at MLS information, and we can construct an entire pro forma for you. We can figure out what the net monthly income is based off of all of these simulations. We take in information from Altus and other industry leaders on construction data, and we can figure out how much it's going to cost to actually create the thing. And we can even give you the house signal links for potential unit comparisons. And after all of that, Arterial plugs directly into the software and the pro formas that you already use. Arterial is not a separate tool. It works in conjunction with your existing processes. It plugs in directly into the pro formas that you already use. And that is just the surface. Arterial is capable of automating the entire pre-development pipeline. We have been working on this for the better part of 2 years now, and today is our first public announcement or public launch. We can do everything from highest and best use to policy interpretations to policy diligence. If you are a planner, we have a separate set of tools for you. We'll be launching specific tooling for MLI Select and prefab developers very, very soon. And all in all, with Arterial, your entire pre-development process, the process where you go from some kind of a site or some kind of a development thesis all the way down to whether or not this is something that is worth investing in, takes minutes. You can get all of your initial research done in a fraction of the time that it would take normally. And today, I'm very happy to announce that we have amassed the largest database of its kind. We have more than 2.2 million regulations and policies in our database. We've simulated thousands of projects across Canada, and right now we are available in Toronto, Kitchener, and Vancouver. I will be hanging around all over the place. I'm sure some of you have noticed our business cards and regular cards. Please feel free to come and say hi. That QR code is a direct link to my calendar. I try to onboard everybody personally. I would love to meet you. There is one other thing that Arterial does. If you're a developer and you don't work with a broker, or you're trying to understand what sites look like from a first-person perspective, Arterial can take in your specific development criteria and your specific development thesis and find sites and recommend them for you. You can literally say, I have a $100 million fund. I would like to allocate it according to like such and such bylaws or such and such kind of typologies, and Arterial will figure out the optimal version for you. Thank you so much, Missing Middle. I will see you guys soon.
Thank you. Yeah, this tool is so cool. I've been talking to Rishi for a little while about it, and every time he presents, it gets better, and it includes more features. I'm looking for the 2030 version of it, where you press a button, you have like working drawings, and we go straight to permits.